Buenos dias, dear candle fans and lovers. That's us again. And we are really happy to welcome you at our handmade CandleBoom kitchen. Our master Sofia has prepared something really special and delicious for you today. Hi Sonia, hi. So we're mixing now, as usual. It's kind of a traditional thing that you always do at the beginning of the process before you start carving the candles. You mix the colors. Usually the colorants have a little residue at the bottom because they kind of get down each cell, so you have to mix them. Sonia, what kind of a base is it? Because I can see that it's unusual. Yes, previously we've always taken the bases with 6 edges, but this time we're gonna take one with 8 edges. It's a little bit more difficult to carve because, like, the more edges you have, the denser is the pattern that you will get in the end. But it's also more interesting, and the result is more interesting. Okay, let's start. So the first thing you do is you heat up the base a little bit. It has to develop a certain temperature. That's for those people who are a little bit familiar with the process of making carved candles. So heating is obligatory. While Sofia is heating up the base, we can just mention once again that all our new candles that we're making here in the kitchen are made with the help of our new equipment, which is called a green wax melter, and it's got its name because it's green. Pretty obvious, isn't it? So it has 6 cells. Each cell has the sizes of 15 and 15 and 29 centimeters. So the cells are deep enough and kind of wide enough to be able to create a lot of candles. Yes, a big number of candles. So you can put a lot of paraffin inside each cell. 6.5 liters. All right, so now the candle base is warm enough and we can start working. We can start dipping. So that's what you do. Pink. Yeah, let's try pink. Well, that's not a surprise that a girl chose pink as her first color. Sonia, what do you have in mind? What's your plan? What's the idea for that candle? Because as we can see, it's not a typical candle. It has 8 edges, and it's really a bit more difficult than the candle that has 6 edges. So I decided to create an inner gradient. So the previous candle had a gradient on the outer surface, but in this one, it's gonna be inside. So there will be more color on top and less color on top and more color at the bottom. And it's going to be brighter. So since I have a candle base with 8 edges, I will need to make some kind of lines, holes between the edges. So we need to get rid of some paraffin in these lines, and in this way the edges will stand out a bit more. And pink again. I wonder if anyone is counting how many times you dip the candle in the colorant. If you do, if you are counting, then please write in the comments how many times has Sonia dipped the candle in pink, or in any color, actually. So I can see that sometimes you don't fully dip it in the cell. Yes, the top part of the candle will have less colored layers, and the bottom part will have more colored layers. So at the bottom it's going to be more pink. Yeah, that's some kind of a life hack from CandleBoom. In this way, you can make the candle broader at the bottom and narrower at the top. So even if the candle base is straight, you can create this kind of shape. No, it's going to be more difficult, no. So you won't be able to grow up the layers that much. The base has to be cone-shaped from the very beginning. So now you dip it in white over pink, and what we get is some kind of peach, pastel orange hue. Yes, and we're going to make it some kind of a gradient. So at the bottom there's going to be more. So pastel colors are kind of gentle as they are, but if you want to make them even more gentle, then you can first use white, and then without dipping the candle into water, dip it in some other color. In that way it's going to be more gentle. It's going to mix with white, and the hue that you will get as a result will be lighter. If you're wondering what these sticks are, they're made of bamboo. So bamboo sticks are really kind of lifelong. They're going to serve you a long time. They are not afraid of high temperatures. And they don't give you splinters. I strongly recommend that the newbies, the candle makers who just start doing that, work using some kind of special clothes, because you can get dirty. You can now see that at the bottom of the candle some kind of stalactites are building up. This is what happens when the paraffin flows down, but it doesn't have enough time to flow down completely, so it freezes, and it freezes in the shape of icicles. Usually we don't use them anywhere else, we just throw them away, but sometimes you can create some extra decorative elements. You can just keep them for later and use them for some purposes in the future. When you have a candle shop in a shopping mall or something like that, children really like when you give them these things as a present, as a little gift or a souvenir. So you just give them a couple of things and they're really happy. A traditional technical moment is to clean up the wick. While the paraffin on the wick is still warm, you can clean it using the other side of the knife. It's really easy, but the main thing is not to cut the wick itself. I think that cleaning the wick is one of the most difficult parts for those candle makers that are newbies and that just begin to do this. Cutting down the bottom of the candle is really difficult at the beginning as well. For some reason, lots of people face this problem in the beginning. Another life hack that we can give you is that you shouldn't have any rings on your fingers, because if you do, you're gonna get some ring prints on the candle. So this time Sonia is using quite a traditional type of cut at the very beginning. She's cutting from top to bottom, downside. This element is easier to make, easier to cut than the element which you cut bottom to top. So we call this element roll. It's familiar for those people who have been watching us for quite a long time now. As you can see by the pattern on the candle itself, you can see that the white color has just opened up. The rolls are quite thin, and it happened that way because the first cut, well, a lot of people want to open up all the layers with the first cut. Don't do that. Wait, be patient. Make really thin cuts. Yeah, it seems like fire is burning inside the candle already, because you can see the orange color closer to the core. It looks like you're cutting some kind of a tropical fruit somewhere in Asia at the market. If a person opened our video by accident and didn't intend to watch it, they might actually think that you're cooking something right now. You better not be hungry. Yeah. Or get a snack. This candle is going to have our standard pattern, which is called the coffee flower. It's also one of the most popular, but at the same time it's one of the most difficult as well. Those who are familiar with us and with what we do, they know that, well, they associate the coffee flower with brownish colors, yeah, coffee-like colors. But today we are using pastel colors, and the coffee flower pattern kind of gets a new life. Yeah, it becomes more tropical. The top of the candle is really gentle and pastel, but inside you have something really passionate, bold and bright. It does look like a tropical flower, much more than a coffee flower indeed. Sophia is kind of cooking something for us right now. Especially keeping in mind that we're doing that in our kitchen. Sonia, what about your nails? So we've talked about rings, that before making a candle you have to get rid of the rings. But what about nails? Well, actually, nails can help you, but their length has to be, well, something in the middle, medium length. Yes, they don't have to be, they shouldn't be too long, they shouldn't be too short. But when you do have nails, you can use them and they're going to help you to touch and get the needed elements. Yeah, so if your nails are too short, then you're gonna have to help yourself with a knife. And each time you'll have to take a knife and get the element. And that's wasting your time. And the candle is cooling off. So, lots of girls won't have to get rid of their manicure. They will just have to keep their length the optimum, their nails the optimum length. And if we're talking about men, they're gonna have to help themselves with a knife. Alright, so we're half through, getting closer to the top. One or two more elements. Yes, a couple more rows. Sonia, what about the consistency of the candle? Has it become harder? Well, this candle cools off a bit quicker than the classical candle with 6 edges, because it takes you more time to carve this candle and to make all the elements. Technically, you can keep the candle for a bit more time in one of the paraffin cells at the very beginning. Usually, we keep it in the white color. And in this way, the base will become warmer. Well, you have to be really careful when you're doing this, because if you make it too warm, if you heat up the candle too much, it can just slide down the wick. So yeah, you have to be careful. As an option, we can recommend for the new masters to, instead of making 8 petals in each row, you can carve just 4. So if you're not sure that you will have enough time to get back to the first 4 petals until they cool down completely, you can just stop at 4. Yes, that's what you can do. The pattern will become a bit less difficult, a bit less complicated. So I have about 7 to 8 elements on each edge, but you can make them 4 or 5. It's going to be the same coffee flower with 1 extra element at the bottom or at the top. So I'm just going to make a less difficult candle. Yes, sure. So another CandleBoom life hack, you just make the candle easier and lighter from the very beginning. But I think that the more professional you get, the more confident you become, and it's not interesting for you to carve a little number of elements. So you just want more and more and more. Yes, and the pattern, which has more elements, looks better, more attractive. So, as you can see, we have this color gradient. At the bottom, it's pink, and further to the top, you can see a denser layer, which was dipped the first. So at the top part, I cut 4 elements, then I carve them, and then I make 4 more, because the candle starts to cool down, and there is a high possibility that I won't be able to carve all elements that have been cut. Yes, so you're just staying on the safe side, so to say. Okay, so all edges have been carved, and we can start working with the loop knife. Are you gonna make some extra elements with the help of the loop knife? Yes. The flowers don't have anything in the middle, so it's better to put something in the middle of the flowers. And the candle that has 8 edges looks pretty dense, so there are lots and lots of elements on it. You pretty much don't have any free space left. But you can still build up this effect and add something else. So you're not making them on between each 2 edges, right? Yes, so I have big bottom flowers and little top flowers. First, I carve and cut all the top ones and then all the bottom ones. Well, yes, it's more logical to begin with the top elements because they're less warm. And the bottom of the candle is usually quite warm still. Yes, but the bottom is more difficult to carve. The cut is more difficult. Bottom to top. Keep the candle firm. But don't press too hard. So despite the fact that we used a pastel palette of colors, this pink color looks really bold and bright. Some kind of a fluorescent effect. Maybe it happened because we dipped it right on the candle base. And as a result, we got a lot of pink color layers. So now, again, as usual, as always, we have to cut this pit for the paraffin to burn. When you light up the candle, it's going to burn really well, and the wax that's going to melt will not flow down the candle immediately. People say that the candle is crying when the paraffin drops are flowing down and spoiling the pattern, but in this case it's not going to happen like that. Everything is ready. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Have a good day or night or whatever.